So good morning and welcome to the class. Today we will discuss about the probability sampling. In the previous lectures, we have already discussed about the non-probability sampling. Now today we will discuss about this probability sampling. As we have already heard about this probability term, means from when you were in class 10th or in previous lectures, you have heard about what is the term, what is the meaning of this term probability. So probability means possibility of something to happen. So what? So now the question is, what do you understand by the probability sampling? The probability sampling scheme is one in which every unit in the population has a chance greater than zero of being selected in the sample, and this probability can be accurately defined. It means that in a population, when you perform some probability sampling, it means that each unit in the population, each element in the population has the equal chances of being selected in the sample. That is called the probability. As we already know that the value of p, that is the value of probability, should be between 0 and 1. So the probability of selection of each unit or element in the population. So probability sampling is also known as the equal probability of selection design. That is the EPS design. Means each element in the population has an same probability of selection or equal possibility that each element or the each unit should be selected. Such designs are also known as the self-weighing because all sample units are given the same weightage. That is, each element in the population has a equal weightage of getting selected. So that is also known as self weighting. Now come to the next. Let me remove this from here. Yes. Now this is the graphical picture. This is the pictorial way of representing this probability sampling. So this is your overall population. This is the sampling frame. Means what is sampling frame we have already discussed in our previous lectures. Then by using this probability sampling process, you will collect some sample that will come from this sampling frame, and on the basis of means you will perform some research analysis on this sample, on this the data you obtain from this sample, and you will draw inferences from this sample about your population. What is this population? What you want to talk about means population is about which you want to perform certain study. This sample is what you actually observe in the data, means where you have actually performed your result, where you have actually collected your data. That is called the sample. So using data to say something, make an inference with confidence about the whole population based on the study of a only few samples. So research is all about drawing inferences from your sample, and on the basis of your sample, you will draw inferences about your population. So probability sampling is also known as random sampling because randomly you are selecting number of respondents. Each unit has a non-zero and a known probability of selection, or you can say each unit or each element in the sample have equal probability of being selected in the sample. Mathematical theory is available to assess the sampling error, that is the error caused by observing a sample instead of the whole population. Probability sampling is designed to allow extrapolation from a small, highly and the representative sample to a large population. You can simply say, obviously, in a probability sampling, you are collecting a sample from your population, means which with that sample will be the representative, highly representing your population, and you will perform some analysis and you are extrapolating about your population. So this statistical inference allows us to describe the population. Means you are drawing some inferences, statistical inferences from your sample that will call a population. That will describe your population. Probability sampling is basically used to answer the questions where and how many questions. Like in the research question, it starts from where or how many questions. Okay. Now, this is the simple random sampling. What is the probability of selection of each element or unit in the sample? That will be represented by sample size divided by the population size. Suppose there is a population of size capital N is equal to, let's say, 100, and you want to collect a sample and small n which is equal to 20. Then what will be the probability of selection of each element in the sample? That will be 20 by 100. That is 1 upon 5. Clear? Simple random sampling is the purest form of the sampling, or you can say it's just a simplest form of, or you can just say in a probability sampling, simple random sampling is the first sampling, first type of sampling. Assures each element in the population has an equal chance of being included in the sample. As we have already discussed about this point, random number generators means randomly you are selecting the different elements from the population. Simple random sampling, applicable when population is small, homogeneous, and the readily available. Okay, then uh, from the simple random sampling, it will provides a large number of, it will perform a large number of permutations and combinations, and will provide you a greatest number of possible sample. And this simple random sampling is simply done by assigning a number to each unit in the sampling frame. A table of random number. So in order to perform this simple random sampling, there are two processes. First is lottery system, and the second is a table of random number table is used to determine the units which is to be selected in the. What is the procedure? Now we will discuss about the procedure of performing this simple random sampling. What you will firstly select the population about which you want to draw some inferences. From that population, select a suitable sampling frame based on the objective of your study. Each element is assigned a number from 1 to n, that is capital N is your population size. So in your population, you will be assigning a number 1 to n to each population. That assigning means you are assigning a number. It's a type of nominal scale you are using. You will simply giving a number 1 to n. Generate n small n sample size different from random numbers between 1 and n, and then you will generate a sample size of small n by by choosing the different numbers between 1 and n. The numbers generated denote the element that should be included in the sample. So what is the procedure? Simply you will select your population, means about which you want to draw some inferences or conclusion. Then in each population you will means in your population you will define your sampling frame. When you define your sampling frame, you will give a number 1 to capital N, means 1 2 3 4 like this, like you did in your nominal scaling. Then you will generate a small samples small number small n, that is n, which is called the sample size, from different numbers between 1 to n. And the numbers generated means whatever number you have selected, that will be that numbered element will be included in your sample. Now this is the example of. Now we will discuss about the second type of sampling, which is known as stratified sampling. We have already discussed about the probability sampling, that is the simple random sampling. The other type of sampling is stratified sampling. In stratified sampling, the researcher generally make different strata or the groups, or you can say different. The population is divided into different homogeneous groups. These these homogeneous groups you will collect your sample randomly. Means as per the objective of the study, the, as per the objectives and means as per the objective, like if I want to say if you are doing some study on the men and women, or on study, your study is based on gender, then what you will do, you will you will stratify your population in terms of male and female. Suppose you want to conduct your study in terms of income group, so you will divide your study, you will divide your population like middle income group, low income group, and the high income group. In the same way, suppose you want to conduct some study which is based on let's say smoking pattern, so higher smoker, medium smoker, and the lower smoker. So these are the different ways, means as per the objective of your study, as per the objective of the research that you want to conduct, you will stratify, you will divide your population into different homogeneous group, and each homogeneous group is known as strata. Now, from each stratum, suppose you make three different strata, or you have divided your population in three different parts, then from each stratum you will collect data randomly, that is the overall stratified sampling. This sampling is also known as proportional random sampling or quota random sampling. Proportional in terms of like you will collect means your respondents from the or you will collect the elements from the different strata. It will be proportionately. Suppose in strata 1 the ratio of male is to female is let's say 3:1. Then in the in the sample also from strata 1 you will have, you will maintain that ratio 3:1, or the ratio of heavy smoker, medium smoker, and the lower smoker is 3:2:1 in your population, in population stratum. Then in the sample also the ratio should be maintained like 3:2:1. So that is why this is called the proportional sampling. This sampling is also known as the quota random sampling. Actually, quota sampling we have already discussed. It's a type of non-probability sampling. So the question is, what is the difference between the stratified sampling and the quota random sampling? Sorry, not quota random sampling. It's basically the quota sampling. So both are in terms of their selection, population means element selection, both are same. But quota sampling is a non-probability sampling. In quota sampling, what you will do, we have already discussed in our previous video that in the quota sampling, you will simply make, you will define your groups, or you will make different groups as per the researchers, you can say researchers judgment, and from each groups again you will collect data as per the researcher's judgment, or you will select elements for your sample as per the researcher's judgment. So quota sampling is also known as two-stage judgmental sampling. But in stratified sampling, the process is same. Like here also you will make the different groups, but here you will not use researcher's judgment. You will use the you will use your research objective, and as per your research objective you will divide your population. Then again you will divide the and again you will collect your data from the different groups randomly, means you are not using your judgment or researcher's judgment. So that is the basic difference between the stratified sampling and the quota sampling. But quota sampling, or you can say stratified sampling, is also known as proportional sampling or the quota random sampling. Suppose there is a population having n units, or you can say population size of n. So what you will do, you will, as per the research objective, you will divide the non-overlapping strata, that is n1, n2, n3, and so on to ni, such that means these quotas or these stratas or these different groups that you have formed should be non-overlapping. So means no element should be common in between the groups. So n1, and when you do the summation of n1, n2, n3, and so on to ni, you will get the n, and then you will perform your simple random sampling. This is the example of stratified sampling. Let's say this is the list of clients. So company wants to collect some data. So what will do? Company will make the strata like African American, Hispanic American, and the others, and from each strata as per the research objective. And then as per this, the company now collect the respondents or the sample from each of the strata. That is the stratified sampling, means list of clients. So that much respondent or that much elements or the units from this African American is selected, from Hispanic American that much is selected, from others that much is selected from each strata. Also there is one example. Suppose there is a company, and company have a total of 180 employees. Now what the company did, company make 4 strata. Like full-time and the part-time employees. Also in terms of gender, they make male and female. So there are four different strata, that is male who are working in full-time, male who are working in part-time, there is female who are working in full-time, and there is female who are working in part-time. So there are four different stratas. Now for each strata, the number is given, like for male full-time who are working is 90, male part-time is 18, female full-time is 9, and the female part-time is 63. Now suppose you want to collect a sample of 40 staff, so how will you perform this stratified sampling? So firstly you will calculate the percentages, means what is the percentage of male in full-time as in terms of the company's total employee. So this is the percentage. 50% male in part-time is 10%, female percentage who are working in full-time is 5%, and the female percentage who are working in part-time is 35%. So we have to collect our sample of 40. So 50% of 40 is 20 individuals should be male in full-time. Similarly, 4 individual or 10% individual should be male in part-time. 5%, that is 2 individuals should be female in full-time, and 35%, that is 14 individuals should be female in part-time. So how will you calculate? Means to 20, there should be 20 in out of 40, there should be 20 male who will be in part-time, sorry, who will be in full-time. Then there will be 4 male who will be in part-time. There will be 2 female who will be in full-time, and 14 female who will be in the part-time. So this is the way, or you can say this is the process by which. So simply firstly you will calculate the firstly you will make the strata, then you will calculate the percentages, and then accordingly you will collect your data from each strata randomly. There. Now the third type of sampling, probability sampling, is the systematic sampling. So systematic sampling, as its name suggests, means arranging the data in certain ordering scheme, or you can say you will select elements at the regular interval, or from there will be some ordered list, and from regular interval you will collect your data, or you will collect your elements, or select, means there will be some scheme, or there will be some method, systematic method, and accordingly you will collect your sample. Suppose there is, so what is the process? You can say what is the process of performing this systematic sampling. So suppose there is a population of having size capital N. You have to select a sample of small n. Size, its size should be small n. So what you will do? Firstly, you will calculate this I. How will you calculate I? So this I is equal to, it will be like small n divided by your capital N. Sorry, this will be divided by capital N. So here, suppose your capital small n, you want to collect, suppose 20 per respondents from out of, let's say 100. So sorry, out of 100. So what will be the value of I? Your I will be capital N divided by small n. Sorry. Okay. So this will be 100 divided by 20. So value will be 5. Now what will you do? You will collect one element between 1 to 5. Let's say I considered 4. Between 1 to 5, you will select one number. That is, suppose you can select 3 also, you can select 1 also, you can select 5 also. Suppose I select 4. So what will be my next number? That is 4 plus I. I value is 5, means 4 plus 5, that is 9. So ninth number of respondent will be selected. In the same way, what will be my third? So 4 plus 2I means 4 plus 10, that is 14. So in the similar way, you can perform your study. Let me rub this. Okay. So next is systematic sampling. This is the process. Assumes the population is randomly ordered, means all will be randomly. The all whatever process you will do, it will be random. Systematic sampling is basically easy. It will provide you more precise sample as compared to simple random sample. This is a way, like n is equal to 100. You want small n is equal to 10p. So n upon n is equal to 5. So you will choose one number between the 1 to 5. Let's say you choose 3 also, and then every fifth number will be set. So here you say, you will see 4, then fifth number is 9, then 1 2 3 4 5. Fifth number is 14, then 1 2 3 4 5, then 19, and similarly you can select your. So What will be in sample? Fourth number of respondent, ninth number of respondent, 14th number of respondent, 19th number of respondent, 24 number of respondent, and so on to 99th number of respondent. The third type of sampling that we will discuss is the cluster sampling. Cluster sampling is also known as a two-stage sampling, or in cluster sampling, as its name suggests, you will form different cluster. The cluster will be heterogeneous. There will be the heterogeneity within the cluster, but there will be homogeneity between the clusters. But in case of, you will say, ma'am, in stratified sampling also we are making groups. In cluster sampling we are also making groups, but what is the basic difference? In cluster sampling, within group there will be heterogeneity, but in the stratified sampling, within group there will be homogeneity. Also in cluster sampling, there will be homogeneity between groups there will be homogeneity, but in case of cluster stratified sampling, there will be heterogeneity between clusters, between stratas. So that is the basic difference between this. So suppose in case of geographical region, so suppose for the hilly areas you will make different cluster 1, 2, 3, because they belongs to hilly area. So in terms of their belongingness from the hilly area, they are homogeneous in nature, means clusters are homogeneous in terms of their belongingness in the hilly area. But when you study within clusters, so there will be a lot of differences between the people who are living in hilly area in one area, people who are living in hilly area of other cluster. So there is a very important thing that you should know, that the in cluster sampling you will make clusters, or you will make groups in such a way that there will be means between cluster there will be lot of homogeneity, but within cluster there should be heterogeneity. So in the cluster sampling, in the same way you will make the different clusters, and then accordingly you will by using the simple random sample process, and you will collect your clusters. You will select clusters, and all the elements in the cluster will be included in your sample. All the elements in that cluster, will be in your data set. But in case of stratified sampling, there will be some question in exam that what is the difference between the cluster sampling and the stratified sampling. So you will say within cluster, within cluster, in case of cluster sampling there is a heterogeneity, but in case of stratified there will be homogeneity. Between cluster, in case of cluster sampling is homogeneity, but in case of stratified sampling it will be heterogeneity. Okay. So, second thing, the here from each stratum there is a requirement that from each stratum or from each group you will collect respondents proportionately in case of stratified sampling. But in case of cluster sampling, you will you will select one or two clusters, and then all the elements in that cluster will be included in your study. Now this is the table which is comparing the under what situations you will use this, your probability sampling method and your non-probability sampling method. So let's discuss about this. These are the conditions favoring the use of non-probability sampling and the probability sampling. Like the nature of the research, suppose you are performing some exploratory study, then it will be non-probability. You will generally you should follow this non-probability sampling. But in case of conclusive, like you are performing some study which is based on descriptive or causal, then you should go for the probability sampling. Relative magnitude of sampling and non-sampling errors. When non-sampling errors are larger, then in that case you will use non-probability sampling. When the sampling errors are larger, you will use this probability sampling. Friends, you know what is the difference between non-sampling errors and sampling errors? If you don't know, then please visit my video. I've already discussed. Then third is variability in the population. When there is the homogeneity, means variability is very low, you can say, or the population is homogeneous, then in that case you will use non-probability sampling. When variability is very high, or you can say your population is very heterogeneous in nature, then you will use probability sampling. When there is a lot of heterogeneity, you will use probability. When there is a lot of homogeneity, you will use non-probability sampling. Statistical consideration, Means in case of non-probability sampling, you cannot perform statistical tools directly. You have to make a lot of changes or lot of purification, data purification, and then you can perform the different statistical tests. But in case of probability sampling, it is not required. If you have used probability sampling, the statistical consideration. Operational consideration, in case of non-probability sampling, the data you can collect your data very easily available, you can say. But in case of probability sampling, it's little bit tough as compared to your non-probability sampling. So that's all from my side. Thank you so much.